Gas or hybrid? If you've been shopping for a Toyota lately, you've probably hit this exact wall. And almost every buyer lands in the same place. Hybrid costs more. Gas is the smarter move. Simple. But here's what nobody's telling you. That assumption, it's outdated, and it's costing people real money every single day, because the dealer's job is to move inventory, not to sit down with you, run the numbers, and tell you which version of that car actually makes more sense for your life over the next 5, 7, 10 years. That's not a criticism. That's just how the business works. So today we're doing that job instead. Because when you actually look at the full picture, not just the sticker price, not just the monthly payment, but the real total cost of owning one of these cars, the answer might surprise you. And once you see it clearly, the decision stops being confusing. It starts being obvious. Let's get the biggest myth out of the way first. Hybrids are expensive. That's the opening line of almost every conversation people have when they're choosing between the two. And yes, technically, on paper, a hybrid trim will show a higher number than its gas equivalent. But here's what that comparison leaves out. The gap has shrunk significantly. We're not in 2010 anymore, when hybrid technology felt like a premium add-on that only made sense if you were doing the math obsessively. Today, in many Toyota models, the difference between the gas version and the hybrid version sits somewhere between 1 and 3,000 euros, sometimes less. Now think about that number differently. Spread that over 5 years of ownership. That's a few hundred a year. Broken down monthly, you're looking at something between 20 and 40 euros more per month to drive a fundamentally different car. The question immediately changes. It's no longer, can I afford the hybrid? It becomes, what do I actually get for that difference? And that's where things get interesting. The most obvious place to start is fuel. And yes, you've heard this before. Hybrids are more efficient. Well, we know. But people tend to underestimate what that actually means in practice, especially in the kind of driving most of us actually do. Think about your week, not the occasional motorway trip to visit family. Your actual week. Short urban commutes, stop-and-go city traffic, supermarket runs, school pickups. The kind of driving where you're never quite at speed for more than 2 minutes before something slows you down again. That's exactly where a hybrid earns its keep. Because in that kind of driving, a Toyota hybrid can return anywhere from 30 to 50% better fuel economy compared to the equivalent petrol engine. And that's not marketing language. That's what drivers are recording in real-world use across Italian cities every single day. Let's put a number on it. If you're spending 150 euros a month on fuel in a petrol Toyota, a comparable hybrid could bring that down to somewhere between 90 and 100. Call it 50 euros a month saved. That's 600 a year. Run that over 5 years. You've already closed the price gap completely. And you haven't even looked at anything else yet. Here's the part that surprises people the most. Driving a hybrid doesn't just save money, it feels different. Not in a way that takes getting used to. In a way that you notice immediately and then quietly start to prefer. Starts are smoother. The electric motor kicks in at low speeds, so there's no engine shudder, no mechanical groan, no waiting for the combustion cycle to catch up with what your foot is asking for. Acceleration is more linear, more composed, less drama. In traffic, the experience shifts completely. The engine cuts out when you're stationary. The cabin goes quiet. You stop feeling like you're fighting the car just to sit still on a congested road. It's a small thing, but it happens every time you stop. Every light, every junction, every parking lot. And refinement like that, experienced daily, changes how you feel about the car in a way that no spec sheet ever captures. Once you've driven one for a week, going back to a petrol equivalent starts to feel like a step backward. Not because the petrol is bad, but because your reference point has shifted. Now let's talk about something most buyers don't think to ask about. Wear. A hybrid drivetrain doesn't just consume less fuel. It physically stresses its components less in the kind of driving we just described. Here's why. In stop-and-go traffic, a petrol engine is constantly cycling between on and off loads. It's working. The transmission is working. The brakes are working. Everything is absorbing the energy of repeated deceleration and reacceleration. A hybrid handles that differently. Regenerative braking captures a large portion of that deceleration energy and feeds it back into the battery, which means the physical brake pads are doing significantly less work. Brake pad replacement on Toyota hybrids tends to come much later than on comparable petrol models, because regeneration is doing most of the stopping. The engine itself spends more time at efficient, steady load conditions. Less time in the high-stress zone of cold, starts and frequent stop-start cycling. Does this mean the hybrid never needs maintenance? Of course not. But it does mean that certain costs arrive later, and in some cases, less often. Which changes the long-term equation in ways that don't show up until you're 3 or 4 years into ownership, and you're looking at what you've spent and what you haven't had to spend. Let's pause here for a second. Because up to this point, we've been talking about savings, fuel costs, brake wear, maintenance windows. And that framing is accurate and useful, but it's also incomplete. Because there's a point in most people's thinking where the conversation shifts from, will this save me money, to, will I actually be glad I made this choice? And that's a different question, a better one. So let's talk about what ownership actually feels like over time. Resale value. This is one of the most underrated parts of the hybrid equation, and almost nobody thinks about it when they're standing in the dealership. Toyota hybrids hold their value well, not just by Toyota standards, by market standards. There are a few reasons for this. First, demand for used hybrids has grown consistently. As fuel prices fluctuate and environmental awareness increases, buyers in the secondhand market are actively seeking out fuel-efficient options. Supply of quality used hybrids is still catching up to that demand. Second, Toyota's reputation for hybrid reliability has been built over more than 2 decades of real-world data. The Prius, the Yaris Hybrid, the Corolla, the RAV4. These are not experimental products. They are mature, proven platforms with documented longevity, and that reputation adds a premium at resale. A petrol Toyota holds value reasonably well because it's a Toyota. A hybrid Toyota holds value well because it's a Toyota hybrid. The second category consistently performs better in residual value calculations, particularly over 3 to 5 year ownership cycles, which means that initial price gap narrows again and again. Until the question is no longer, is the hybrid worth more? But why would I pay for the petrol version when the hybrid pays back so much more? Let's address the reliability fear directly, because it's real and it's worth taking seriously. When people hear hybrid, they think complexity. More components. More things that can fail. More expensive repairs when something eventually goes wrong. It's a logical concern, and 20 years ago it had more validity. But today it doesn't hold up the same way. Toyota's hybrid system, the one they use across the Yaris, Corolla, RAV4, and most of their lineup, has been in continuous production and refinement since the late 1990s. That's over 2 decades of iteration, real-world testing, and documented reliability data across millions of vehicles worldwide. The battery system is engineered with a long service life in mind. Toyota covers their hybrid batteries under warranty for substantial periods, and real-world data consistently shows these batteries performing well into high mileage figures without degradation issues. The system has been simplified and refined to the point where it's not significantly more complex to maintain than a conventional petrol vehicle for standard service intervals. Is it a perfect system? Nothing is. But the fear of unreliability is not supported by the evidence at this point. It's a perception that belongs to an earlier era of the technology. The reality today is a system that has proven itself at scale, in millions of cars over decades. There's one more dimension that doesn't get enough attention. Daily convenience. This sounds small, but it accumulates. Fewer fuel stops, not because you never need to fill up, you do. But in urban and suburban driving, a hybrid Toyota will extend your range noticeably. That means fewer interruptions to your week, fewer detours to a station, fewer moments where you glance at the gauge and recalculate your route. In traffic, as we mentioned, the engine silence at idle creates a genuinely calmer driving environment. Less noise. Less vibration transmitted through the cabin. A more composed, controlled feel in exactly the conditions where driving stress tends to peak. These are not headline-grabbing advantages. They're the kind of thing you notice on a Tuesday morning in congested city traffic when everyone around you is sitting in idling petrol engines and your car has gone quiet. Small differences. Every day. Over years. The kind of thing that shapes how you feel about a car long after the excitement of buying it has settled. Now, let's be honest about the other side, because this isn't a case where hybrid wins for every single person if your driving is predominantly motorway. Long stretches at constant speed where the electric motor's advantages are minimal and the engine is simply cruising efficiently on its own. In that scenario, the fuel savings narrow considerably. The efficiency advantage is real but smaller. If your budget is genuinely tight, and even €1,000 difference in purchase price creates real financial strain. Then the upfront argument for petrol holds more weight, and the long-term math requires more patience than some buyers can accommodate. And if you're buying a car primarily for occasional long-distance use, weekend trips, holiday driving, infrequent commuting, the daily use advantages simply have fewer opportunities to accumulate. The honest answer is, hybrid makes the strongest case for city and suburban drivers who log consistent daily mileage. The more closely your driving matches that profile, the more clearly the numbers align in the hybrid's favor. The question worth asking yourself isn't, is hybrid better? It's, is hybrid better for the way I actually drive? Here's something that tells you where things are heading. The shift in buyer behavior. In markets across Europe, hybrid variants are increasingly becoming the majority choice in model lineups where both options exist. Not because of government mandates, not because petrol suddenly became illegal, but because enough buyers ran the actual numbers, drove both options, and made a clear-eyed decision. The growth in hybrid adoption is driven by lived experience spreading through normal conversations. People who bought a hybrid Toyota, drove it for 2 years, paid less at the pump, enjoyed a quieter cabin, and then told someone they knew. That's not marketing. That's genuine preference forming at scale. And when you see that pattern clearly, when you see that the people who've already made this choice are consistently happy with it, it removes a lot of the uncertainty from your own decision. You're not betting on something unproven. You're choosing something that a large and growing number of drivers have already validated with their own money and their own daily experience. So here's where we land. Gas versus hybrid Toyota isn't actually about which one costs less to buy. It's about which one costs less to own, which one holds its value better, which one reduces friction in your daily driving, which one gives you back more of what you put in, month after month, year after year. When you look at it that way, when you run the total numbers instead of just the sticker comparison, the gap between the two options doesn't look like a premium anymore. It looks like a different kind of investment, one that keeps returning value long after the initial difference has been absorbed and forgotten. For most urban and suburban Toyota buyers doing normal daily driving, the honest answer points in one direction, not because hybrids are perfect, not because petrol is obsolete, but because once the full picture is on the table, fuel, wear, resale, reliability, daily experience, one choice tends to make more sense more consistently for more people. And that's a conclusion you reach yourself. Not because a dealer pushed you toward it, but because the evidence, laid out honestly, takes you there. If this helped you think through the decision more clearly, stick around. There's more to come.